Lubanga is the end of the long process, 7 years.
He wanted an army that is loyal to him and him alone.
You know how many victims are in Darfur? 2.5 million.
Child soldiers. They were beaten and forced to join the army, losing their innocence forever. While the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Luis Moreno Ocampo, tries to convict the people behind such crimes, the court trials behind struggling to stretch its jurisdiction to more places in the world, capturing the footsteps of the prosecutor for 3 years until he finished his term. The documentary The Court showcases his endeavors in handling cases involving child soldiers in Congo and the fall of Gaddafi in Libya. The 90-minute film was screened as one of the featured documentaries at the Freedom Film Fest on 9th December. The director, Marcus Wetter, talks about why he wanted to make a film on the ICC and why he chose countries like Libya and Lunbanga.
We could only concentrate on a few cases. So Libya we didn't choose, it happened. We had to do it. There was no other way. While we were choosing suddenly Gaddafi, and he was really a well-known person all over the world. I mean, you could say everybody knows Gaddafi. So having such a prominent figure being accused of war crimes, and he was still alive at that moment, it was very important for us. Because Lubanga, nobody knew, but it was it was more about the child soldiers, which attracts the attention of the audience. So that's why we had Palestine as an overall complicated issue of bureaucracy, you could say.
Marcus explains the challenge of securing the prosecutor's permission to follow him during his working hours.
The prosecutor, Luis Moreno Ocampo, wanted us to be there, but he had to persuade his team because not everybody wanted that we would look in their cards all the time. But during the course of the film, they had a lot of trust in us because we were there. We knew them all at the office of the prosecutor, and we had really an intense access to everything.
He also responds to criticism regarding the use of footage of the child soldiers before such evidence was presented in the court.
He wanted to make clear why the International Criminal Court is that important. What you see is, for example, a kid just shot in the back, just like that. I mean, by an official. What you see is a 9-year-old child being beaten up on a truck. 9 years. I mean, you have to understand first of all what is beaten up, because in the court, in the trial, witnesses, which you can't see, they talk about being abducted and beaten up. So you would think, is that a war crime to being beaten up? Is that maybe not too much? Isn't there other crimes on the world? I mean, that's a world court.
At the end of the trial, Lubanga was sentenced to 14 years in prison.